Alright guys, so this is a factoring example where a, the coefficient of x squared, is something other than 1. And when it's something other than 1, you have two choices. You can do the number sense way that I've been showing you. It's a little guess and check, but it's by far the most efficient, I think. Or you can do a factor by grouping. So this on your pink sheet is that last one on the right method. The way we do factoring by grouping is, well actually let me show you the number sense first. The number sense, because a lot of you already have this, the first two would multiply to give me what? The first two terms will multiply to give me what? 2x squared. So what are the terms? 2x and x. Because there's my 2x squared. The last terms will multiply to get me what? A 12. Okay? Because remember, I couldn't GCF anything out. I can't greatest common factor anything. So I'm going to go straight to building this. So what two numbers could multiply to get me 12? 3 and 4. Now I'm not going to say 3 and 4 could give me 7 or 1. I'm not going to do that right now. Because A is not 1. So I have to strategize, where do I put the 3, where do I put the 4? Do I do it like this? Or do I put it like this? Because there is a difference now because you have a coefficient that is something other than 1. Which one do you think I should put with the 2? A 3 or a 4? With the 3. Okay. So let's try it out. And if it doesn't work, we're going to have to do a little bit of altering. Here we go. So you're not checking these, you're checking this, 3 and 8, because 3 times x is 3x, 2x times 4 is 8x, so this 3 and 8 will either build an 11 or a 5. If I add them or subtract them, that's what they will get. Look at this. It's exactly what I need. Again, this comes with experience and practice. And if it doesn't work, move the numbers around. Work on your number sense. Now I just got to put the positive where the positive goes and the negative where the negative goes, or whatever. What are my signs? Positive and positive. So right now my factors are done. 2x plus 3 and x plus 4 are my factors. Okay? Now, if I wanted to find the x-intercepts, aka the zeros of the function, all I'm going to do is set each of these pieces equal to 0 and solve. So if I set this one right here equal to 0, and I solved for x, what would I get? Negative 3 halves. No decimals. So let's keep some fractions. What would the other one be? Negative 4, right? So right here, these are my zeros. X equals negative 3 halves, or x is equal to negative 4. Those are my x-intercepts as well. Just real quick, if I were to graph those, they look like this. At negative 3 halves, so let's put negative 1 right here. So a negative 1.5, which is about here, and a negative 4, so we'll say 2, 3, 4. This is what my graph will look like. Is it looking up or down? Up, because it's positive. So it's looking something like that. You with me? So my y-intercept, let's review a little bit because you've had homework. What form is this? Factored form. What form is this? Standard. Which one's the easier one to get the y-intercept like that? The standard, because you're going to plug in what for x? 0. So these will 0 out, and I'm left with what? 12. So my y-intercept is y is equal to 12, or 0, 12, like a point. So we know that this value up here would be 12. Okay. The axis of symmetry is the halfway point. So if I'm adding these, and I take the halfway point, yes, I need a common denominator first, which I will multiply this by a form of 1. So I get negative 3 minus 8 is a negative 11 halves over 2. What does that equal? Negative 11 halves divided by 2 is the same as keep, change, flip. Oops. So it would be negative 11 fourths. So x equals negative 11 fourths. Okay, so then the vertex is negative 11 fourths is the x. And yes, we're going to now have to put this in for the y here, or sorry, x here and here to get the y intercept. Or sorry, to get the y value. Did anyone do that?
Negative 25 eighths.
Is that what you got?
No.
So let's,
I did that.
no worries. Just real quick, I want you to see what level I want your number sense to get to, especially with these fractions. So it's like this. 2 negative 11 over 4 squared plus 11 times negative 11 over 4, and then plus 12. Okay?
Yeah.
Negative 11 squared is 121 over 16 times 2. This is negative 121 over 4. And this is just plus 2.
I thought it was plus 12.
Oh, my bad. 12. Nice job. Okay? So now all we have to do is just get a common denominator. Let's reduce a little bit. This 2 and 16 will reduce to 8. So I can write it as 1/8. And now if I wanted to get all my common denominators to 8, I could multiply this by a form of 1, which is 2 over 2. And I could multiply this by a form of 1, which is 8 over 8. So now I have all my common denominators of 8, 8, and 8. I just got to figure out the top. So I have 2 and 121 is 242. 12 and
They're
8.
opposite signs though, so it'd only be 120. Isn't one positive and one negative?
Yeah, it'll be a negative though.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah.
And no worries. And then 12 times 8 will be a 96. And they're all over the same, which is 8. So I have a negative 121 plus 96 is a 25 over 8.
So I got it.
Okay, so 25 eighths.
Wait, negative 25 over 8 though, right? Or is it positive?
You're right, negative. Negative 25 over 8 would be the y value of the vertex. And now, last but not least, the sketch. You could just put this with the vertex at negative 11 fourths, negative 25 eighths, and that would be the sketch. Let's go ahead and go for bonus points. Each circle would give you bonus points of 10 each. Here you go. 1, 2 for the factors, 3, 4 for the x-intercepts, 5 for the y-intercept, 6 for the axis of symmetry, 7 for the vertex, and let's say something close to this sketch would be 8. Okay?